The development of contact jiu-jitsu started in JJIF in 2005, because there we were sitting together, Michelle, myself, and Palle Hansen in a summer camp. And this was when the MMA started to move around and boom. And we were discussing what we like and what we don't like from this development. And that actually, in the end, the most of the things are jiu-jitsu. And if this wouldn't be an option for the JJIF we called it pro jiu-jitsu in that time, to move on and even get a professional league maybe designed. A big move was for us that 2017, the host country and the Olympic Council of Asia asked for a full contact jiu-jitsu to be included in the Asian Indoor and Martial Art Games. So we committed to include this discipline. We promised to the organizers that JJIF can do this. And that was then a big boost to move contact jiu-jitsu and full contact fights in the JJIF. So we made the first test event then actually in the Asian Championship 2017. And whoever find the videos online will agree that this was still not the level of quality we worked on. But since this, the system improved a lot and we got very new things on board. It was then finally included with 6 medal events in the Asian Indoor and Martial Art Games. And so we can actually say it is an Olympic recognized discipline, because these are the official Olympic Asian Games. Yes, not worldwide, but at least for Asia, the contact jiu-jitsu is an approved event on the higher level for multi-sport events. I want to give some credentials to Suresh Gopi, because he was actually the person running the project with a lot of personal energy and getting the people around him. And as already remembered, he was then running the events in Vietnam. And since this, he withdrew from his position in the contact jiu-jitsu 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, actually. But we must say big thanks, because he was then the engine of running in the last 5 years, the contact jiu-jitsu. What we actually now have, and this is what we want to explain to you in detail today, is that we have a project that we have these rules we were using. I call them now the IMAG, Asian Indoor and Martial Art Games rules from 2017, which are approved, tested, were run in the last Asian Championships with big success. More and more people participated. And we have a head impact-free rule set. I call them now head impact-free 2023 contact jiu-jitsu rules. If anybody has better ideas for names, this is warmly welcome. And we are open to get new input on this name thing, not to have too much confusion. What we are doing with these 2 projects, we consider to work at the moment with both rules. 2023 head impact-free and 2017 an evolution of the IMAG rules. The 2017 rules will develop in many parts into the direction of the 23 rules, the new rules, because we saw that something simply not working properly, people running off the mat, leaving the mat area, or it is very difficult to make the decision. And actually the rules in the old original version provoking too much knockouts. And this is not the idea of our sport in the end. From the martial arts side, a very nice idea to say only KO and submission counts. But from the medical point of view and health and safety of the athletes, we must go away from this. So especially the course of the match and the judgment will run by the new rules. We're going to have a first test event, and we will carefully observe the acceptance and how these rules can get involved. And we will talk a bit later about why we are running exactly in this way. What is our motivation? So the main goal is to have a World Cup in May 2023 in Thailand. Bangkok applied for hosting this event already last year. And we want to have very stable and good rules in all these in all this process, which started actually 2015 or 2005, we can say, but now is reality. So the plan there is to fight the new rule set without headshots for under 18, under 21 and adults. And adults with experience in full contact or which have fought today are allowed to go by the 2017 rules, which are much tougher on that side, especially on the impact side. What will happen until now? We have now this webinar to inform most of you about the new rule set, what's going on. The next step will be the Asian Championship, which we only run the updated rules because we know that athletes which prepare for the Asian Championships participated last year will not change that fast into the new rule set. But already on the 18th and 19th of March, we have a test event for contact jiu-jitsu, head impact free in Thessaloniki, Greece. On the 18th, we're going to make the referee work and the meetings and working with the coaches and the fighters. On the 19th, then we can run a small tournament, and we are happy that the Greek Federation is helping us to organize it. And they have as well a big community of full contact interested fighters. So there we start the launch for Europe. So why these new rules come in? This might be the question. Are you guys getting confused or are you moving into different directions? So we have now a rule set, head impact free, with I call the version 4.0. We are in a project phase and things are still changing. And the brains behind this is mainly Michel van Rit, which is here to run the seminar, and our friend Bertrand Amoussou. He's as well a board member of IMAF, of the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, and he's responsible for the development branch of Jiu-Jitsu in France, since we have a new leadership there. And now I want to hand over in this point, and before we talk about details of the rules, the intention, and please, Michel, the floor is yours to explain why we go this way, why we're looking for new rule set. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Joe. First of all, welcome everybody. Yeah, as Joe said, a long time already, we wanted to have the contact rules and the contact jiu-jitsu. I hope everybody find and downloaded the new rules. I'm not gonna how you say, show my screen because I have problems connecting, so I will do it separately, but I hope everybody have the rules. So, and check the rules. They are on the site from JJIF, downloaded 2023. Yeah, first of all, Jiu-Jitsu, we must have our own identity. Bertrand and me, we sat down and we said, hey, we must not be the same like MMA. We must not be the same like Rukapashne Boy, Combat Sambo, all those sports. We must have our own identity. So we said we must have first one with no head contact. Yeah. So through the lines of the rules, you will see a little bit clear, I hope, what will be the case where we want to go. And eventually later, it could be even that we get a professional version next to it. But to go that way, we first must go to have, let's say, the amateur version and to have our own style, our own ID. So that's very important for us as Jiu-Jitsu, that we have our own identity. So if you see dress code, there's written white or blue gi, but in the beginning, we will adapt a little bit. Organizations can allow other colors of gis, but they must have a red and a blue belt. Yeah. So, but at the end, we would like to work with the blue and the white gi to separate the fighters and to be very clear for the referees. It's a very important thing that the refereeing can be very clear so that the judges really know who scores the points. When we go to the protective gear, you see head gear is not allowed, not possible anymore. So we don't need the headgear. Joe, thank you. So you see, the gloves are 4 ounces, the MMA gloves. Yeah, so we choose really for the MMA gloves so you can have a good grip. You can have really good strong punches because at the end we are doing a full contact, and gripping the kimono with this kind of gloves is better than the gloves that they use now in the contact jiu-jitsu. So we really want to have it more good to for the fighters. Shin protections are, of course, and mandatory, of course, groin guard, mouth guard, of course, they are very mandatory. Even there's no headshots, mouth guard, it is for safety anyway. When we go more down, we see the referee uniform. Okay, we have a mat referee, and we got 3 judges. So they all will have the normal things. The only thing difference when is that the mat referee and the sides have disposable surgical gloves. Yeah, so black gloves if you come in contact. So that's one of the things. Duration of the bout is 3 minutes. 3 minutes fighting time. The judge of the mat referee can say, okay, fight. And every time the time runs through. Only when the mat referee say stop the time will be stopped. Yeah, that can be in several situations when there's injury or one kimono is broken, the trousers is broken. In that way, the mat referee can say stop the time. When the fight is equal, there will be 1 minute extra time. Yes, after that, there will be a winner. Medical time is like with the most 2 minutes. I'm not going to talk too much about that part. Weigh-in is according to the sporting codes. Tournament rituals. That's a little bit different than normal because the mat referees, the 3 judges, they line up at the edge of the tatami, and then they have a general bow before they take their positions. Yeah? And the judges sitting at the table, whereas the scoreboard, and separately, so not too close to each other, because they will make their own points. We will come later to that part. Okay. Rules. Positions of participation, this is one big point. Standing position is when a competitor defines when he touches the contest area with his feet. So standing on the feet, that's standing. Anything else is considered ground. One hand on the floor, elbow on the floor, knee on the floor, then you are in a ground position. So we want to keep it as clear as possible. Standing on your feet, it's standing. All the rest, you are on the floor. That's very important. Course of the bouts. Let's see what is important over there. Yes, that's what I talk about. And stop the time only when the mat referee steps stop time. It can be that the fighters are not active. Yeah, it's up to the mat referee to say, hey, you have to fight. Come on, fight. And the one who is most inactive will get a warning for that, for this passivity. Yes, and that will be noticed. Yes, so that's very important, that we want to see fighting. We don't want to see running away. We don't want to see passivity. You come for contact jiu-jitsu, you'll have to fight. So results and evaluation of a bout. The fight can be ended with one of the fighters wins by TKO, submission, or decision. Also possibility to win the fight by disqualification, doctor's decision, or injury. Yeah, so TKO, that is really important part, because every hard blow to the body is impact. We must see impact. So when the fighter, the opponent, kneels down because he don't have air, because of a strong punch or kick or a low kick, and he have to sit down, it's a TKO, end of the fight. You know, if you are not able to fight back, it's over. Yeah. So safety is a very important part. And anyway, if you cannot defend yourself, it's over. When the athlete is simply fleeing the mat to escape a submission hold without a proper defensive move. Down there you see a number 3 at it. It will be downstairs, it will be explained, but I will explain already. For example, if somebody have an armbar and I'm just walking out of the tatami, it's fleeing. But if somebody is in an armbar and he's rolling out, he tried to escape technically, then it's just an advantage for the person who tried to make the arm lock. So he will be rewarded with an advantage for that, but he will not get punished, the other one. Yeah. So that's a technical, that's a little bit the difference between the fleeing and going out with a technical. If an athlete is fleeing the area just because he don't want to fight, he can get 2 warnings. And the third time, it's let's say TKO over disqualification, how you want to call it. The other one wins. You know, you can go 2 times outside of the mat, and then it's over. The third time you lose. You have to stay inside the mat and fight. Okay, when by submissions, they can tap or give a verbal tap out, saying stop, stop. All counts. It's you lose. You can even lose your consciousness, then you're out. Victory by decision. We have 3 judges, like we said. They note every active throw. So a really good throw that you say, hey, that have an impact. Every effective punch, when you see the body crunches, the low kick hits in and he lips, that is all points. So a punch and your opponent has no how you say, no pain, let's say he don't feel it, then it's not a punch, then it's not a point. Then victory by penalty, medical issues. Okay, there's all normal things, you know, doctor's decision. Just read that things good. Illegal techniques, disqualification situations. When a competitor is injured, the opponent with the forbidden technique has means immediately disqualification. Yeah, there are no headshots allowed, not standing and not on the ground. That's important. Any intentional punch or kick to the head will lead to immediate disqualification. Yeah, heel hooks, inside, outside heel hooks are not allowed. Too dangerous, too much risk for injuries. So they are also immediately disqualifications. Toe holds and all other leg locks, they are okay, but heel hooks, they are too dangerous. Very important, when a fighter loses consciousness by a choke or a shot knockout, the tournament is over. For that day, they cannot fight anymore. Just safety issues. Okay, it's not allowed to make any lock on the spine. A lock applied on the spine in such way will lead to disqualification. It's not allowed to make slams higher than the belt. What that part, you see the 4, it will be also explained further through, but what we mean, we are on the ground and I lift my opponent, I stand up, go over my belt, I slam him, it's not allowed. But if I stay and I take him up to, let's say, my belt level, my hip level, and I try to escape the arm lock, it's okay. So it's light slamming, let's say, but it's slamming for to get out of a position or get, but not higher than the belt. Yes, so his body can never be higher than your belt with the slamming. In that way, immediate disqualification. You cannot throw an opponent on the head or make a pile dive. It's all too dangerous, so that's not allowed. scratch, bite, pinch, conch, fish hook, any part of the body. I think it's very clear. Okay, tournament rituals are of course important. So if you don't want to follow the rituals, you will be disqualified. Disrespectful behavior, rude and unethical behavior, of course, all will lead to disqualification. Any illegal technique, what was in 8.5, which is being identified as executed on purpose, will lead to disqualification. Then you have falls that gives you a warning. Yeah, so if you have 2 times a fall, an illegal technique will be warned one time. The second warning will be lead to disqualification. So elbows are not allowed. So the mat referee gives 1 time a warning when somebody gives an elbow to the body or something, and it was not on purpose. If it's on purpose, it could lead immediately to disqualification. But forgot. 1 warning, second time disqualification. Kicks to the knees, straight kicks to the knees or from the side to injure your opponent, not allowed. It can happen in the fight that you hit the knee, but that must be on purpose. So when you do it on purpose, then it's immediately disqualification. Strike to the head, the groin, everything, spine, vital organs. 1 warning, second one is disqualification. Grab or grip the fingers, hair, ears, also that part. You get 1 time a warning, second time disqualification. You can have 2 fouls, 2 warnings for disqualification, which is a light foul. So if you deliberately, repeatedly moving outside the fighting area, like I said, you flee outside, you don't want to fight, you get 2 times, you get a warning. 3rd time is disqualification. Your fight is over. If you are passive, you're pushing your opponent out of the mat without technical, it's also, you don't want to fight, you want to get him a penalty. At the end, you will get 1. You cannot put the hand in the face, like cross-facing or something on the floor, but then in the hand side of that is okay, side, but not in front of the face, whereas the eyes, nose, mouth. Refusing to follow the orders and the commands of the mat referee, you get 2 times a warning, 3rd times, your tournament is over. Okay, so we go further. Competition area, that's also important. Every technique started inside the mat area, a throw, even if it's ended outside, it will be awarded. Yeah, so if you start inside the mat area, you throw outside, no problem. The same with the choke, arm lock, you apply still outside the mat, but there need to be a little contact with the mat. You can still continue and finish your choke or your arm lock, as long as some part of the body is connected with the main part of the mat, then it's okay. So that's all. So it's not so many rules. It's not so many rules like it was before. We try to keep it simple, easy. The less rules, the better, I think, in this way. So yeah, Joe, you got some additions? Joe, it's gone.
So I don't have additions to this rule set. Maybe it is important to see this dimension, to say people are very, it depends really on the culture, on the country where you are. The differences are huge with the safety question for athletes, responsibility. And for some people, it's, yeah, totally normal to say, yeah, we fight in full contact, even for youth and everything. But then we have cultures, and then more in Europe, actually, we are there, that people are going far more carefully and looking on this responsibility part. Yeah. And I think as well, from the intention, we must see that if somebody moves from the fighting system into the full contact, then the new rule set is fitting exactly for this. It should be more technical, I believe. We will see the results as soon as we fight. But we're going to see a transition from that side.
Yeah,
I know that some of our federations have the intention to get fighters from the full contact in the federation. So then the old rule set is fitting a bit more, and we get these things aligned. And we now must, as federation, in a process, see how we exactly work for the future. At the moment, 2 rule sets, as I said, because we have people already fighting the old rules with headshots, and we have we want to attract a new community inside our federations with these parts.
I think also very important to tell is that, like you said, we want to have a technical fight. If you focus too much on KOs, you will lose a lot of technical things that you can do in the contact jiu-jitsu will not be used. So that's why also first, let's say the light version. Later on, when there's more and more experience, we have a big group of contact jiu-jitsu people who fighting. Then we can discuss and say, hey, this rule sets from 2017 will be a little bit changed, and we'll make a professional version on that one. But that needs time. And if you go too fast, you're going to lose some technical skills. And I think, like I said, identity from the jiu-jitsu is very important.
So I would move on to give you a little bit impressions from the 17 rules from the Asian side, let's say. We are there. So what will be new when I say IMAC evolution from the indoor games, what had been changed or what should move new? This principle of saying an athlete should, I call it now, stand his ground. It should be a part as well that you must be able to stay in the competition area. This is the biggest difference then finally to the MMA part, that there is no fixed border, no fence. No, you must stay inside the mat, and this is your responsibility. So the same like the new rule set, leaving the contest area for 3 times is regarded as TKO, actually. I don't even want to call it a penalty. It is you lose you're not able to stay inside. I cannot stand anymore because I got a punch. So this is a job of the athlete to stay inside the mat. And even when so the idea is if the fighter is under attack and just running out of the mat, what we saw too many times, this is regarded as TKO. We will not allow sumo style pushing out of the area. So that's not the idea as well. So if somebody just rush into an athlete and push him out with the full body force, this is not what we mean, because we want to avoid as well. What will be new, the judgment, what Michel explained. We had this idea of pure KO submission wins with this golden minute and everything. And yeah, here comes really safety reasons and the responsibility for the athlete into the game. So after the 3-minute rounds, we go for the 3 minutes in all the fights. The 3 judges, the judgment of these 3 will be taken into account. And as Michel explained before, the more effective, more active, effective fighter shall be awarded the winner. So it is this mix. What leaves the difference when we have this adjusted? It starts with the safety equipment, with the bigger gloves and the smaller gloves. Smaller gloves, more technical. You can work properly in the infight. It is more for the people who grab the gi, who grapple, who go for a submission as well. The big gloves are a bit unpractical for this. We tried this years ago in Germany. We had these big gloves. The head guard is not necessary in a new rule set. In the old, we have it. And I must say, more often I get discussions and I get questions if the head guards are not even unsafe. Amateur boxing, Olympic boxing removed the head guard. And I have other people talking to us. So we need to follow up our medical team or the medical parts to get an expertise on this. There's different reasons. Some say the field of vision is much smaller, so you get harder hits. Or this idea that more often you just can continue because you get the hits, but they are not forcing to a knockdown or knockout. And then you get, in the end, a bigger impact load in total. And here the TKO is a difference. So a KO, it is then we have this count to 5. And if the fighter is able to recover in these 5 seconds, he's allowed to continue the fight. And when a second knockdown, we call it, happens, then it is a TKO or it is considered a KO, while immediately in the first action, the fighter shows a clear sign of an effective technique, kneeing down, need a breath, cannot stand anymore for, it is immediately considered. So again, a much higher safety level in the new rule set for the fighter, and another chance for the ones who won't go in a harder element. So these are the points for what is coming up. We planning events. Important will be the test event in Greece. So whoever finds a chance and seriously want to get inside, this will be one of the first referee courses. Our friend Bertrand will be the main host of this event. Where do I have Bertrand here? Yeah, he's blinded out. Listening our events. So we have these events going on, and these are the plans. Salut Bertrand, ça va? And moving on. So it is now up to you. If you have straight to these rules questions, the 2023 rules are online. You can see them, you can download them, study, attend the test event. And then, as we said, for the youth, for people without full contact experience, they have to fight the head impact-free rules in the World Cup. Only people who really had fights before, who have a kind of fight record, can go in the fights with the headshots and this double TKO point. So we are happy now to answer your questions. Whenever you have some, you can place them in the chat or ask directly. If you raise your hands, that would be good. And Bertrand just put this comment: no more headgear in amateur boxing and amateur MMA. So there might be decent reasons for this. These are the people having. So first question: why we make a difference between standing position and lying position? Michel.
It's important to know where's the points made. Yeah? So you need to define to see for safety, for takedowns, you know. So if the hand is on the floor and you turn him on, it's already from a ground position. So it's not a throw, not a takedown. So a takedown or a throw can only start from 2 foot on the floor in that way. So we want to divide it really in that part. So it's very important to know what is standing, what's on the floor. Also, very important, standing, we can give knees, but on the floor not. So that's also why it's important to blank that out. And on the floor, we don't give knees, but standing up, you can give a knee to the body, but not to the head.
Okay, we have Apichart, who is raising his hand.
Hello, how are you? I have a little bit question about his submission. It's about leg lock. The bicep slicer. It's about bicep slicer and calf slicer is around.
Yeah, all good.
Electric chair too.
Yeah.
Okay. Wrist lock too, right?
Sorry?
Wrist lock.
Wrist lock, yeah. Also all okay. Yeah. As long as it not heel hooks who are twisted and dangerous for the knees and the ankles, it's all good.
Okay, thank you.
Elbow strikes get questioned.
No, in the rules, not allowed. In the rules, I think where it is.
It's a forbidden technique, yes, but
yeah.
Absolutely right. We must overwork the part of the knee that we lost in the last edition. We lost the knees in standing position.
Yeah.
Any further questions?
Yeah, to come back on the punching and the striking, I want to add on the floor, we don't hit the face of the, but we can hit the body. If somebody have his hands controlled, you can give him punches to the ribs. He loses his arm, his grip. You can make your arm lock. So that things is still allowed. So don't forget, you can do this kind of things you can do.
If there is no further questions from your side, actually, we can thank you for being here. You got first proper information. As I said, important will be the first test event when we really have it in life. We wanted to do this last year. We got as well a bit shaken by Corona. The rule set was prepared in these times. We are always open for people who like to work in a kind of committee, or we now JJIF under the guidance of our president, we go more in open working groups. So we include every opinion if possible, and want to work with everybody to get more people inside. Feel free to contact us. There is as well the email contact@jj@jjif.org. So this gets spread to different persons in the point and being in. So as there's no more question, I thank you, Michel, for being with us, explaining a lot about the rules. We are looking excited to the Asian Championship. There we will have a lot of work in Bangkok and Thailand. Big thanks to Bertrand as well. He was one of the leading brains, I said, in the background for this rule set. And under this experience, we are going in a new chapter.